Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly values, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your host, femininity coach, and author of The Crimson Cure. And this is my perspective. So what we're talking about is Black men never protect Black women. That is the narrative. That has always been the narrative for a very long time. Black women always talk about how Black men do not protect them. They don't feel, and then they'll go the other way and say that Black men are being predatory towards them and things of that nature. I'm going to show you a video, and then we're going to come back and cook. So let me go ahead. Let me share my screen real quick. Here we go. Now you see what that says. Brothers of New Era Detroit pump gas, load groceries, and look over Black women moving around Detroit after dark. Just take a look. Thank you.
How you doing?
Who pump your gas? Huh? Okay, New Era. Okay. You know who pump your gas? Okay.
You know you pump your gas tonight? You hear me? Oh, you know that.
All right. Thank you. Hey, okay, that's what's up. Thank you. All right.
Y'all doing? Y'all all right?
I feel real sad. I feel real sad right now.
Let me stop sharing. Black men don't protect y'all. Right? Black men don't. See, y'all not going to get on social media and talk about that. You'll get on social media and cry and whine about the passport bros. You'll get on social media and cry and whine about why they going to white women. Blah, 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 blah. You'll get on social media and cry and die about how Black men don't do this and how Black men don't do that and this. But then on the other hand, you don't need them and you ain't got to have them and you don't need to have Black men do nothing. And look at what they did. First of all, the Black men here in this area in Detroit are taking it upon themselves to look out for the women of their community. Let's first, before we start going in cooking with these hyenas, let's first give these men the credit that they deserve. Let's first do that. I don't want to do this video and not give credit to the regular old brother, the average Black man, the one that's making that 40, 50K a year. I don't know what the men make, but it's a likely chance that they're not making no 6 figures, $250,000, no wealthy men. These are the men that you get online to talk crazy about. But what I want to do is I want to take a moment to give props to the regular old brother for still giving their communal 4 Ps, especially protection, because you notice they had pieces. They wasn't out there unprotected themselves. Okay? They wasn't out there unprotected themselves. These are the very Black women that are talking out the side of their neck about these men in other, in another setting. But these men are still making, regardless of what the collective of Black women deserve or don't deserve, what they do or don't do, these men are still making a successful and valiant attempt at taking charge in their communities in whatever way they can and as immediately as they can. And when I say that, what I mean is they are not shooting, oh, well, we got to change the laws and we got to do. They looked for, what can we do right now? What problem can we solve immediately ourselves without involving nobody else, without asking nobody else, without getting permission from nobody else, without figuring nothing else out with nobody else? How can we, as the men of this community, get together in our own community and essentially police it? Essentially look after the women that don't have no covering because y'all don't need no man. Move around at night in a urban setting where there's a lot of danger. Pick any hood USA, it's the same thing. It's the same thing in Detroit as you roaming around at night as a woman on the south side of Chicago or the west side of Chicago. It's the same thing. Okay? And these men are taking it upon themselves. That's a risk to them. Anything can pop off. That's why they got them guns. Anything can pop off and they may need to use that. But they are out there. These are women that they do not know. These are women that they do not have personal relationships with. These are women that are not giving them anything in return except a, hey, thank you. That's all that they're doing. And these men are out there in the dead of night, in the cold, giving protection to a community of women that otherwise spit on them. Do you understand what I'm talking about? This will be taken for granted overall. Them particular women might have been thankful, but this will be taken for granted overall, just as all of the valiant attempts of Black men to come back together into the community and propel the community forward. Black women always got something stupid to say about it. I'll be surprised if these women of that community did not take them brothers for granted or did not try at some point to undermine them brothers. Because you know they're good for that. That's how the Detroit 300 was infiltrated. That's why they didn't exist. You understand what I'm talking about? Black women are so, generally speaking, Black women are so incredibly entitled and have not been really loyal enough. When you think about it, they've not been loyal enough for Black men to do that. Overall, just in general, Black women have not been loyal enough to expect on any reasonable level or to receive on any reasonable level a communal protection from Black men. At every turn, Black women have taken the covering of Black men off and have thrown it in the garbage and have spit on it and stomped in it and thrown it in the trash. Every time Black men tried to come and give you 4 P's, whether it's protection, and it could have been a problem solver, could have been a provision, could have been any one of them, procreation could have been any one of them. Y'all takes it for granted. You have not really earned this level of consideration because y'all will still get online or go somewhere and talk crazy outside your neck about Black men everywhere, yet taking advantage of what the Black men in your area are doing, which leads me to another thing. Y'all always are talking. This speaks to the difference between the narrative that Black women like to spin and they lived experience and how different that is. That's what I want y'all to know, because these women that get somewhere and talk about how Black men don't do this and how Black men don't do that, but in they lived experience, they were covered by men they didn't know. Let me pump your gas. Let me get your groceries. Let me watch you in and out of the store. Let me make sure nobody's messing with you. Will the women who are able to take advantage of this speak to their lived experience when asked about Black men, or are they still going to talk the narrative that they were taught and believe? The next thing is this. The reason why them men had to that was even a problem for them men to solve is because so many of you are uncovered, and you're uncovered because you don't want to be covered. You don't have husbands, you don't have spouses, you don't have long term, you don't have anything, because this is the mindset that you've been rolling with for the longest.
I said, as long as you got your own house, as long as you got your own transportation, and as long as you got your own income, it don't matter what a ninja got to say.
This is what y'all been doing. This is what you've understood and what you've taught each other and what you've told each other and what you've taught your daughters about Black men and who they are and what your relation to them is and how you ain't got to worry about what a ninja got to say. Yet these same ninjas are protecting y'all. They didn't ask you whether or not you like Black men. They didn't ask you whether or not you agree with the passport bros. Them men ain't asking them women whether or not they liked Kevin Samuels. Them men are not asking them women nothing about their viewpoint, nothing about whether or not they voted for Sleepy Joe, or whether or not they ain't asked them nothing about nothing. They didn't ask him anything except for, ma'am, you want me to pump your gas and we out here looking out for you. That's all that they did. They didn't make a stipulation for their masculinity. It was not conditional. It wasn't predicated on whether or not you could, get on your knees at the back of the gas station and then I pump your gas. They didn't do any of that. They just came with a masculinity. The same masculinity that you accuse Black men of not coming to you with. You claim Black men beat you and they dog you and they do all. I don't see a whole lot of video evidence of that, but I do see video evidence of the contrary. Black men helping you, looking out for you and stuff like that. You don't pay that no attention, do you? See, Black men are who they are, even though the lost value system has taken them through so much stuff and reduced them in some very specific ways as a group. Regardless of Black men being mired within the lost value system and the toll that actually has taken on them collectively and have taken on their psyche collectively, they still have the wherewithal to offer the 4 P's and give it to you willingly. They're willing to give it to you. They still working to carve out a space for themselves within a community that is nearly extinct, and not to mention a community that do not value his 4 P's, that do not value his masculinity, that do not value his manhood, that do not value his foresight, that does not value his problem solving and his analytical thinking, that spits and frowns upon what provision he can bring to you and act like it's always this poverty-stricken thing, and who will kill his seed after he procreate with you. He still come and carve a space for himself in this kind of community, still going to help a group of women that don't see any value in him, still providing for them in ways that later on tonight or later on the next day, these same women are going to refuse to acknowledge those men and what they actually do. Because see, these women don't understand that. They don't understand which P's were given to them. It's more than protection. There's more than protection. They were actually giving all 4 because the 4 P's are linked together. Provision, problem solving, procreation, and protection are linked. It was done out of care and concern. That's procreation. Protection, that was obvious. Problem solving. What problem were they looking to solve? Our women are uncovered and they going in and out and about at night. In the wintertime, it get dark real quick and things of that nature. They have to go to the store. They have to run the errands. They have to do all this stuff because there aren't any men around. We're not asking why. They're just not there. And so what problem are we solving? Well, we're solving the problem of masculine covering and having the foresight to bring their weapons to them and be able to be in the proper places in order to even offer that type of help. Y'all don't deserve them. Y'all don't deserve these men. You really don't. You don't deserve the covering that they give you. You really don't. A lot of y'all don't. A lot of y'all don't deserve it. And it's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate because if we had a better value system, if we could take on a better value system, there would be no better man on the planet than a black man, no better man on the planet. But he got to operate at reduced capacity because of the stuff that the general body of black women want to do. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for participating, and I want to draw everybody's attention to the fact that you can go right now into the description box and hit the link at crimsoncure.com in order to receive your copy of Reclaiming the Black Feminine, the Lives of Feminism and the Road to Recovery. If you want a physical copy of the book, you go to crimsoncure.com. If you want a digital copy of the book, also in the description box, you can hit the link to Amazon. If you purchase off of Amazon, all that I ask is that you please leave a review for that. And thank you so very much. Also, jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your host, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimson.